Hello friends, today we are going to discuss about one of the procedure that is the steam inhalation. Meaning of the steam inhalation. Steam inhalation is one of the most widely used home remedies to soothe and open the nasal passage and get relief from the symptoms of cold or a sinus infection. So basically steam inhalation meaning is that it is mostly used in the home setting and it soothes and open the nasal passage and it also helps us to get relief from the symptoms of cold and the sinus infection. Then the next thing that is the inhalation. So meaning of the inhalation is that it is the inhaling of the medicine or a anesthetic in the form of the gas or a vapor. Next we will move towards the purposes. Purposes of the steam inhalation. So first purpose is that to relieve inflammation of the mucous membrane in acute cold and in a sinusitis. It produces symptomatic relief. So, steam inhalation helps to relieve the inflammation of the mucous membrane which is caused by the acute cold or by the sinusitis, and it also produces the symptomatic relief. Then, second purpose is that to soften the thick tenacious mucus and relieve coughing from many causes. Steam inhalation also helps to soften the thick mucus or the tenacious mucus. Tenacious mucus is also means that the thick mucus, and also give relief from the coughing from many causes. So it helps to give relief from the coughing which is caused by the many causes. Third purpose, to aid in the absorption of oxygen. Steam inhalation helps in the absorption of the oxygen. Fourth purpose is that to provide warm and moist air following the operation, example tracheostomy. So, steam inhalation provides the warm and moist air in the operation such as the tracheostomy. Then, fifth one, that is to provide the antiseptic effect on the upper respiratory tract. So, steam inhalation it produce or provide the antiseptic effect in the upper respiratory tract. So next we will discuss the methods of steam inhalation. So there are some methods by which we can take the steam inhalation. So first one, that is the jug method. Second one, that is the electrical steamer like the nebulizer. Then the third one, that is the steam tent. General instruction. So there are some general instruction while taking the steam inhalation. First one, always remember the danger of involve of scalding the patient either with the steam or with the water coming out of the inhaler. So when the patient is taking the steam inhalation, we have to maintain some distance from the inhaler. It leads to the scalding. Scalding, it is the thermal burn. So when the patient is taking the steam inhalation, we have to maintain some distance to avoid the scalding or avoiding the burn. Second instruction, when a jug or kettle is used, fill it only 2/3 with the boiling water to prevent the scalding of the patient. When we are using the jug method, that time we have to fill the jug only 2/3 with the boiling water to avoid the scalding of the patient or burning of the patient. If the inhaler is filled to the brim, there is a possibility to drowning of the water into the mouth and scalding of the patient. So if we are filling the inhaler till it brim, so there is a possibility of the drowning hot water and scalding of the patient. The water should remain just below the spout. So spout is just like pipe. If the spout is filled with the water, it will not act as an air inlet. The patient will not get warm air. So if the spout is filled with the water, so patient can't take the steam. Third instruction, always remember the danger of fire. Obviously, when we are performing any procedure which involves stove, that time we have to make sure it will not lead to a dangerous situation. So why we have to remember the danger of fire? If a stove used with a kettle to generate steam continuously, as in the case of the steam tent, the blanket used may fall on the stove and catches fire. When we are using the steam tent method for the steam inhalation and the blanket used may fall on the stove and catches fire, it may lead to a dangerous situation. For that purpose, to preventing the dangerous fire, dangerous situation, for that purpose we have to remember the danger of fire. Then the fourth instruction, have the water in the jug method at a moderate temperature. When we are using the jug method, we have to maintain the temperature of the water. Then we will see why we have to maintain the temperature of water and at which temperature. So the temperature is maintained between the 120 to 160 degree Fahrenheit or 54.4 to 76.7 degrees centigrade. If the water is cold, it will not generate the steam. If the water is too hot, it may cause scalding of the patient. If the water is too hot, it may leads to a burning of the patient, and if the water is too cold, it will not used as an inhaler, or it will not produce the steam. For that purpose, we have to maintain the temperature of the water. Fifth instruction, keep the patient warm and prevent the draft during, before and after the inhalation. So when the patient is going to take a steam, that time we have to keep a patient warm and prevent the ventilation. So we will see why we have to prevent the ventilation and keep the patient warm. So during the treatment, the blood vessel of the skin and mucous membrane are dilated and the patient is easily chilled when exposed to a draft. So during the treatment, during the steam inhalation, the patient blood vessels of skin and mucous membrane are dilated, which leads to a patient easily chilled when he exposed to a draft. This predisposes him to a more severe and prolonged attack of inflammation and congestion. Therefore, the patient should not go into a cold atmosphere for several hours after the treatment. And the windows and doors are closed and the fan is put off during the treatment to prevent the draft, and ask the patient to empty the bladder to ensure that the patient will remain on the bed for the several hours after the inhalation. For that purpose, for preventing the chilling of the patient, we have to keep the patient warm. During the steam inhalation procedure, if the eyes of the patient are not closed, the patient may get the conjunctivitis. So when patient will get the conjunctivitis, sixth instruction, when the volatile drugs are used. Example, methanol. Warn the patient to keep his eyes closed to prevent the drug irritating the conjunctiva. So when the volatile drugs are used, and the patient's eyes are not closed, the patient may get the conjunctivitis. Seventh instruction, watch the patient closely throughout the procedure for any adverse effect. When the procedure is going on, nurse has to observe the patient for any adverse effect, providing a calling device near the patient to call the nurse in the case of necessity. Eighth instruction, when giving the inhalation by jug method, keep the spout away from the patient. So when we are using the jug method for the steam inhalation, that time we have to keep the spout away from the patient. It may lead to the burning of this patient. For that purpose, we have to keep the spout away. Ninth, place a sputum cup in reach of the patient. Provide a sputum cup to a patient to speed the sputum that is cupped up during the inhalation. 10th instruction, explain the procedure to the patient before the preparation of the inhalation. During any procedure, we have to explain the procedure to the patient. It will help us to get a confidence of the patient, so that no time is lost to start the inhalation once the inhaler with the boiling water is taken to the bedside. If the time is lost for explanation, the temperature of the water will be reduced. Now we will move towards the nurse's responsibility in administration of the steam inhalation. Preliminary assessment. First point, check the patient name, bed number and other identification. Before starting any procedure, nurse has to check the patient name, bed number and the other identification of the patient. Second point, check the diagnosis and the general condition of the patient. Nurse has to also check the diagnosis and the general condition of the patient before starting any procedure. Then third point, check the physician order to see the specific precaution for the patient movement and the positioning. Nurses also has to check the physician's order for the specific positioning. Fourth point, nurse has to assess the patient's ability for self-care, his ability to move and to maintain the desired position. Fifth one, assess the level of consciousness and the ability to follow instruction. Sixth one, check the article available in the patient's unit. Now we will see the preparation of article. In the preparation of the article, we will see the name of the article and its purpose. So first article, Nielsen inhaler with the mouthpiece, and the purpose is to use as a vaporizer. Second one, bowl or basin to hold the inhaler. Third one, flannel piece or towel to wrap around the inhaler to prevent the heat loss. Fourth one, face towel to wipe the face of the patient. Fifth one, bath blanket or the bath towel to put over the patient heads, and the jug to prevent the loss of steam. Sixth one, benzoin or any other inhalant order used as a. Seventh one article, that is the teaspoon or a minimum glass to measure the inhalant. Here is also given the picture of the minimum glass. Kettle with the boiling water to boil the water. Gauze piece to wrap around the mouthpiece. Cotton swab to plug the spout. And the last one, kidney tray and the paper bag to collect the waste. These are the articles used in the procedure of a steam inhalation.